The surety of the Harrigan's future is called into question with each move and countermove made by Richie, Conrad, or Maeve. Given that Maeve is actively planning with Richie and Conrad appears to be becoming more unstable by the day, it is impossible to predict how long the Harrigans will remain a significant force in the London criminal underground. On top of everything, a comment made by Maeve to her lone surviving son could allude to a future rupture that could wreck the Harrigan family for good. Maeve tells Kevin that he or his brother will be the Harrigans' future, but Kevin corrects her by pointing out that Brendan is no longer alive. Her diabolical remark that she is referring to his other brother instantly infuriates Kevin, who then hurls a terrible word at his mother. Before he is interrupted by his son Eddie, who leaves his room with a happy bounce in his step following his most recent visit with Gina, he nearly appears as like he could strike her. The way Kevin responds, it's obvious that he believes his mother is referring to Brendan, which suggests that Kevin doesn't think of the other brother very much, and most definitely not in the sense that he is a brother. His utter surprise and then indignation that she would even mention that somebody is telling, as it suggests that he was either unaware of their existence or found it insulting. Naturally, one of the main mysteries of the narrative going forward is who Kevin's other brother is. The fact that Eddie interrupts Kevin as he starts to blast at his mother is an almost too obvious visual clue, but it would certainly not be out of the norm for MobLand, which does not deal in subtlety. More importantly, though, is the fact that Kevin and his son have done nothing but clash throughout the series. Eddie has nothing but contempt for his father, and Kevin seems to reciprocate it. Thus, there are many reasons to believe that the other brother that Maeve refers to is actually Eddie Harrigan, Kevin's presumed son. Although Eddie is very different from his more restrained and worried father due to his erratic and reckless behavior, Conrad is another individual whose personality Eddie shares. Bella, who was just around 20 years old, was one of the young ladies Conrad cheated on Maeve with before Kevin married her, as has already been made public. In order to effectively hide the infidelity, or at least the obvious proof of it, it would seem entirely reasonable that Conrad would have gotten her pregnant and then forced his son to wed Bella. It makes reasonable that they wouldn't have notified Eddie, even though Maeve is obviously aware. If Eddie is indeed Conrad's son and not Kevin's, then Eddie is obviously the choice for both Conrad and Maeve when it comes to who makes decisions when they're gone. This is part of what infuriated Kevin about Maeve's mention of his other brother, which was basically a threat, suggesting that Kevin's status as the heir to the Harrigan throne was not assured and that there was a better option should he falter. Conversely, Eddie's status as Conrad's son may provide a previously unobserved explanation for Maeve's behavior thus far. Maeve Harrigan, who is exceedingly proud, views Serafina as a living, breathing reminder of Conrad's adultery, which is why she despises her. To a far bigger extent, Eddie would be the same thing. The emphasis on keeping him around would undoubtedly support Maeve's desire to destroy Conrad's empire. She is motivated by retaliation for Conrad's decades of derogatory remarks rather than by sound business judgment. Maeve doesn't trust or like Harry, and she's already called him out as a traitor once, probably to throw the scent off herself. In addition, if Kevin did believe that Maeve meant Harry, he wouldn't have reacted angrily because, based on everything we've seen, he does consider Harry a brother, and he certainly doesn't suspect that he would usurp Kevin's place in the family. Thus, it seems unlikely that Maeve is referring to Harry as Kevin's other brother, even though Conrad views Harry as a son, especially after he saved Serafina. Other than Eddie, there aren't many other cast members that we are aware of. There is a chance that Kevin's brother, Harrigan, who has not yet been presented, will be revealed. Given that Serafina was born out of wedlock and that Conrad had extramarital affairs throughout his life, it appears particularly plausible. But it seems like a bad idea to add another family member when there are already so many plots and subplots going on. Of all the possible potential MobLand twists, the idea that Eddie Harrigan is Kevin's other brother seems the most likely. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.